In this video I'm gonna show you how to understand Modern Teak Deck and why you might wanna think twice before adding this to your brand new yacht. If you're like me buying a second-hand yacht, this video might open your eyes as well in how to take care of the problems that will surface sooner than later, no matter the brand. And maybe avoid the most common mistakes, ending up with a situation beyond possible restoration. As normal, I made some graphics and illustrations to assist my explanations, and also just for the fun of it, some humor to spice up things the be-free style.
You know how to make a girl look a little bit trashy? Make a photo shoot here.
Join me as I'm sailing around the world on Be Free, a Bavaria 55 cruiser. If you see here, this is actually the backdrop from my originally Bimini that was shredded in the cyclone force wind. And I use it as a temporary solution over my cockpit to protect me from the sun and from rain. But I have also put a tarp over the entire cockpit. This is basically to protect me from all the rain and also give better shade. So now it's like 2 layers, sort of insulation. It actually works very well. But I'm not gonna show you all the bits and pieces, the small things I've been working on. I've been actually working quite hard the last weeks after my friends left. I've done a lot of maintenance and a lot of small things. But a lot of these things takes so much more time. If I'm gonna record it, it slows me down, so I just ignore that. Also, I know that a lot of you are not so interested in all these small maintenance things. That's endless maintenance on a yacht. However, some of it I have recorded and some will find its way to my other channel where it's more like practical things and how I do things. It's so hot here. It's 32 degrees and yeah, it's really also this feeling of thunderstorms arriving, so it's a nightmare. If there's one thing I would do different if I bought a new boat, it would be to add air conditioner. In my opinion, air condition on a long distance yacht is not about luxury, it's about protecting your boat, it's about protecting your electricity, and as a bonus effect you will have comfort and luxury. But it is actually a big problem with the humidity. I run my dehumidifier, and it's especially when you are in subtropical, tropical climate. The rain season makes it so humid. So yeah, if I could done anything different or take this as a very friendly advice, if you can afford it, go for air condition on your boat. Another friendly advice is, even if you can afford the extra cost of Teak Deck, think twice about that. Especially if buying a brand new production yacht in the mass production segment. This is not only a Bavaria thing, it goes for absolutely every brand in the volume segment, and maybe as a surprise to some. It's several reasons for this, leading to several consequences. Most obvious reason is sanctions on teak from Myanmar. Import and sale of this is illegal. Historically famous for being among the best teak in the world. The consequences is high quality teak from 100 years and older that's legal to sell become ridiculous expensive. For most production yachts, this is not possible to defend cost-wise, even if they make the teak strips thin as possible, only glued on thin air. So the consequence is they all use plantation teak. That's still expensive but sustainable harvest and legal. The main problem with this is that not many are willing to wait for these trees to become 100 years old or more. And the fact is, to have quality teak, it needs to be at least 100 years old, and even better if it's 200 years. This is obviously not compatible with mass production, so faster growing trees are cultivated and younger trees are used. This makes the quality drop so far. The only thing it has in common with all teak as we know it is the name. And still it's not available everywhere. So during my Pacific sail it was not many places where I could get my hands on teak, and not even the right glue and all the stuff I needed. And I know this little piece on my Teak Deck has been annoying a lot of people, not understanding this is not a dock queen. Nothing wrong having the queen of the dock, because that would make me the king of the bee freedom. But now I'm actually out sailing. And when you are in really remote places, it's not that easy. Also, if you start to remove and cannot fix it properly right away, you will actually make things worse. So that's why I've been laughing a little bit. I also had my hands full of a lot of other more higher priorities than actually cosmetic on the Teak Deck, which I knew I was going to fix eventually anyway. But let's talk about the teak. This is the strip I have removed, and as you can see, it's really thin. I mean, it's real teak, but it's glued on this plywood thing and then glued on the deck. And this is the method most production yachts use. I think it's the same on Jeannot, Beneteau, even Catamaranes on Lagoon. I noticed on Lagoon I was helping a friend with his Teak Deck that it actually have some features that gives you an illusion that it's thicker than it is. That's at the end with more massive and corners, so it gives you an illusion that it's really massive and solid, but it's not. It's actually the same. Bavaria, like many others, cuts corners to save money. And I was aware of this, and honestly I prefer Bavaria cutting corners on things like this before the important stuff. But this is not to sell or brag about my Bavaria. In fact, I'm highlighting one thing that's not so good. And if they invested a little bit more in the Teak Deck, it could lasted longer. Please let me explain. If you take a Lagoon catamaran as an example, they are doing this Teak Deck far better, even though sharing the production method with equal thin plantage teak glued on top of different material, making it into a doublet before it's glued to the deck. It's absolutely nothing wrong with this method. In fact, it's much better than old school with screws. However, when it's half done like on my Bavaria and many other yachts, it's not so good. The edges are exposed to water, and it's here the problems will start first. Similar effect when sealant is no longer working or the teak strips has shrinked, leaving a gap. This tiny detail that obviously costs extra does not only give the illusion of being solid teak, it even offers far better protection to the duplex teak product. It looks better, more expensive, but are better, and might even make it last much longer, if the owner is not doing the wrong things. And here is a big difference between charter fleet owned and private owned. Teak Deck on a modern yacht, you don't want to use pressure washer on it, it will kill your teak. One of the reasons is the pores in this plantage teak is more open than it is on this genuine forest teak that's harvested. This you can see, I don't know if you can see the surface, but it's much more compact. And also at the end you can see different here than you will see on this plantage teak that is fast growing. And of course it will twist when it gets humid or exposed for big variations in humidity. Interesting fact on this one, it was actually shrimping in the length, not so much in the width. Yeah, I don't know, I just can't explain that other than it's really fascinating observation. In this context, I just want to remind that back in the days it was mostly used silicone-based products that have very limited lifespan. On modern yachts they use better glues and sealants, however they are not perfect either, even though they last longer, they don't last forever. Fantastic.
And this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, it doesn't scratch or destroy the gelcoats, and you can remove mechanically some of the leftovers of the, as you can see here now.
so it removes more of the caulking.
The thing is, when this start to twist and move like this, eventually the glue will leave, and it might be still stuck to the wood, and then you will have some of the wood left on the plywood. So there is many ways to deal with it, and I'm gonna show you and share the method how I do it. And probably many professional carpenters will just shake their head, but I'm not professional. I just do it my way, and it has actually worked. As my last input on maintenance before showing you how you can fix this problem before it reaches point of no return like here, is to keep in mind 3 important things. Number 1, never use pressure washer on your Modern Teak doublets, because it opens the pores in this soft teak. Number 2, even how tempting it is, never ever use a sanding machine to bring back the deck to its beauty. You don't have much to sand on, and it will soon leave you with nothing. 3. Remember, sealant does not last forever. If it starts to loosen, re-caulk the places where it needs it. And finally, this is only my opinion, but the only way to have it look really beautiful and protected against UV and even protected against humidity is chemical treatments. I've run out of this and found the Semco to be among the best end treatments for your Modern Teak. It's expensive but works very well. That's of course as a final step after proper cleaning, which is really hard not being in a marina with unlimited water. And of course more fun with beautiful ladies helping me out.
Be fresh, be clean, be free. Be free. Hello, I'm the pleasure girl, and I'm not only being your servant, cleaning your boat, I'm also being your sex slave.
Today I've been very lucky. I got my hands on a lot of teak, and my dinghy is full. On this, in Europe, this is pure gold. The social aspect of my adventure and interaction with the local community has always been a big and important part. And the bonus is, like now, I got a lot of old teak for free, perfect for my projects. So investing time like this with the cool guys from SwT Yacht Club have also learned me where I can source things and get the help I need in a new place. So I'm at the SwT Yacht Service, and this friendly guy here is helping me with my teak wood. So let's see what we can do. Okay. I needed help to level down the strip I've cut out from my template. I have found this technique to be very effective for several reasons. Because it's a curve and I cannot glue down the thin strip under the same amount of pressure, forcing it into a curve. I basically cut the piece to the correct curve instead. I'm not claiming this is the best way to do this, but my experience is this method gives me a teak strip that acts totally dead with 0 tension. Then I'm using an epoxy-based 2-component glue, and I'm pretty generous with the amount. I should have added more weight on it, but this is what I have improvising out at anchor, using the weight of water. And the pressure is spread even with the plank sitting on top of my new strip of teak. The new strip that is glued in place is a bit higher than what the final result is gonna be. This because otherwise it would be difficult to add pressure on the new teak strip. The finishing touch is sanded very carefully, as I really don't want to sand the existing teak deck due to the fact it's very thin, as earlier explained. I was a bit too generous with the glue this time, but it's also good to see that the glue is squeezed well after the pressure I had on top of it, making it coming out where the caulking is going. For this kind of repairs, it's better to know it's proper glued. And a quick fix before caulking is to remove the excess epoxy glue with a Dremel. I'm pretty steady on my hand, and you can't see any imperfections in the line for the caulking. It's not the first time I've done this, and every time I see some places needing re-caulking, I always try to do them all at the same time. I'm also squeezing it pretty hard down to make sure it fills all the gaps and leaves no air bubbles. And this is the finished result of my teak replacement, and how I do it trying to extend the life of my teak deck. Please let me know in the comments if you found this interesting, fun, or even helpful. Then it's not much more to say than thank you all for watching, for subscribing, and all the new subscribers. I'm totally still in shock. It's been like cling, 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 cling. And as a content creator that does not do clickbait and all these kind of things, it's really fascinating. So big shout out to Chris at Chasing Latitudes for the shout outs. It's really helped to put my channel on the radar. I'm most thankful. And yeah, hope to see you soon.